Hi cuties, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another What I Spend in a Month. I'm excited to chat with y'all because we have a lot to get through. I'm gonna be sharing exactly what I spent in November and going through every single expense. And let me tell you, it was not pretty. I don't know what the fuck happened in November, but I spent so much money and we're gonna talk about it. We're also gonna talk about how I'm feeling with my money and how I'm feeling in general, because in my last What I Spent in a Month video, I was talking about how good I felt with my money, how happy I felt, and things have changed. So let's just get right into it, okay? So if you watch my vlogs, you would know that I'm currently experiencing some challenges with my health and with chronic pain. I'm currently experiencing a flare-up and that has been extremely difficult for me. If you're curious about this at all, I will link my latest vlog. But it has just been a very challenging time. So this impacts my money in a lot of ways, because how you're doing in your life, how your health is, how your mind is, how your body is going to impact your money. And one way that it impacts my money is when I'm going through a tough time, when I'm experiencing a chronic pain flare-up, I will pretty much do anything to make myself feel better, and I will allow myself to do this. So I don't restrict myself on getting little treats or maybe doing a little bit of shopping. I basically remove all restrictions on myself because my number one priority is self-care, and my number one priority is being gentle with myself and, you know, riding through a very tough period of time. On the other hand, this makes me extremely grateful for where I'm at with my money, because when I'm having a really hard time, at least I don't have major money concerns. A lot of people, when they experience very challenging times in their lives, they may also be experiencing tight money situations, and those two things together it's just so much stress, and like it's just stressor after stressor after stressor. And I mean, this is like a topic for another day. I feel like I could talk about this forever, but poverty, homelessness, mental health challenges, it's this vicious cycle that doesn't help each other. And I'm very grateful that I don't have to experience those things. And so when I am going through a really challenging time in my life, I do feel very grateful for the position that I'm at in my life, the work and the, you know, opportunities that I've had in the past that have allowed me to have a cushion where I don't feel worried about how I'm gonna pay my rent. I don't feel too worried about the future. I feel like I'm in a good money position, and that truly takes away a lot of stress and anxiety, so I can kind of just deal with what I'm dealing with in my life without the added money stress. I hope that that makes sense. But it has been a tough time. It has been a tough time. So let's just maybe get into the totals and then we can go through every single expense. I knew that November was gonna be expensive because number one, I do most of my Christmas shopping in November. Number two, my car insurance comes out in November and I pay my car insurance yearly. So it's like this big lump sum. So I always know that November is going to be an expensive month. And I pay my car insurance yearly because I don't really like having monthly insurance payments come out, and then I also want to get credit card points when I pay my car insurance, and I can only do that. They only allow me to pay via credit card if I do it yearly. So I'm happy to do that. So that's how I've always done my car insurance. So that was a really big expense in November. And then there was just a lot of little things that came up that I will take you through. So I've got my phone, I've got my list here. Let's go through it. So I spent $5,634.18 in November, which is probably the most expensive month that I've had all year. Again, I could have predicted this. My car insurance is like nearly $2,000, so of course this is gonna be a spendy month. And sometimes in the past, I've like taken out the car insurance because I do have a sinking fund for it. I always save up so that when my car insurance comes out, I have a sinking fund that can pay for it right away. In the past, I've kind of taken that off of what I spend in a month, but there's kind of cheating because I did spend that in the month, you know? So I'm not gonna do that this month, but just know that almost $2,000 of this total was on one thing, and it was an essential. So in terms of categories, I listed it from most expensive to least expensive. So transportation, which includes gas, Uber, and car insurance, was $1,998.59. Home was $1,032.35. Gifts and charity, $499.52. Beauty, $424.94. Groceries, $367.11. Business expenses, $318.93. Health, $315.18. Restaurants and takeout, $264.33. Clothes, $200.37. Subscriptions and fees, $166.03. Coffee, $46.83. For a total of $5,634.18. I also invested $1,700, which that's a slay that I was able to do that even with such a high spend month. However, that is on the lower end of what I normally invest, but it makes sense because I'm not made of money. Not made of money. Even though it was an expensive month, I want to point out that I spent $0 on travel, I spent $0 on entertainment, and $0 on alcohol, which, good job, Mel. So overall, I'm not too mad at this spending breakdown. It seems reasonable to me, and we'll go through all of the things. If I didn't have that car insurance, it'd be a pretty good month, honestly. Like it would be one of my lower spend months. So I'm just not gonna beat myself up over it. I don't have the mental space to beat myself up over it. So we're just gonna move on, okay? Okay, I'm going to pull up my computer and we're gonna go through every single transaction. All right, let's start with home. So for home, my rent is $837.50. This is my half of my rent. I live with my boyfriend and our rent is very reasonable. So I'm grateful for that. A couple of other home things, our energy bill, my half is around $60. My half of the internet, internet. We used to have internet and cable, but we got rid of our cable. So for internet, my half is $67.72. We bought a Christmas tree this year, which was very exciting. In the past, we've had real Christmas trees and they were really nice, but I got so sick of the pine needles. And so we ended up getting a fake Christmas tree, and Christmas trees are weirdly expensive. Like I didn't really know that. We found one that was on sale from $200 to $100. So my half with tax, and I think we bought something else, was around $60. So very reasonable. And I'm glad that we didn't have to pay like $500 for a tree, because what the hell? And then I also bought dishwasher pods today actually for $7.13. So home, all reasonable, nothing out of the ordinary except for the Christmas tree. But again, we're gonna have that tree for a while and it was pretty cheap. So I'm happy about it. Restaurants and takeout. I definitely ate out quite a bit in November. It was just a busy time. I had lots of events and I was busy at work, and it just ended up being kind of like a high dining out month. We also went to Banff on a little vacation, and so we obviously spent some money on dinners out there. But my total was $264.33, which could be worse. It absolutely could be worse. So one time I got dinner with some of my coworkers at Vegan Street, which is a really good restaurant in Inglewood in Calgary. And I just got like 2 tacos, and so my bill was really reasonable. It was $18.62. So I can't be mad at that. One evening we went to Klein and Harris with Mac's family. We always do like a Christmas activity, and we went to go see a play at Vertigo Theater. We had already paid for our tickets, so that was good because the tickets were kind of expensive. But we went to Klein and Harris. It's like a really nice dinner place, and for dinner, I think my half was around $65. I got Vietnamese one night from Skip, but I placed an order for pickup, which I've been trying to do because it is so expensive to get your food delivered. So I'm glad that I went to go pick it up. It was $17.80. And for comparison, like if I go and pick it up, that's the price. If I got it delivered, probably be like $26, $28, which is too much money, too much money. When we were in Banff on our way home, we stopped in Canmore and went to Rocky Mountain Bagel Company, and we got breakfast bagels, and mine was $12. We went to Lupo in Banff for dinner one night. I love Lupo. We also went on a night where they were having a special where the pizzas were like $16 each. We got 2 pizzas and some other stuff. So I don't know if it ended up saving us that much money, but you know, every little bit counts. So my half was $65. We also went to a ramen place in Banff for one night for dinner, and it was really, really good. And it was really cheap. So we did kind of one cheaper dinner and one nicer dinner. So that was $26.91. When we were in Banff again, we went to a coffee shop called The Uprising for a coffee and a little croissant before we went on this nice winter hike. And my half was $11. One day I did get a McFlurry from Skip the Dishes, and I did get it delivered. So it cost me $12. That was the only thing I got delivered the whole month though, so I'm proud of myself. And then I bought Mac and I subs from Sco's which is this new sandwich place in Calgary, and it was really good. And I treated Mac to this, and the total was $36. Okay, groceries. So groceries, we actually had a ton of fresh prep dinners this month. Actually, I think 3 weeks of fresh prep dinners, and I worked with fresh prep on Instagram a couple months ago, and I had some credit. So those dinners were actually paid for. So my grocery budget for last month in October was really low, and for November, it's pretty low. I mean, it could have been lower because we had those free dinners, but usually our grocery budget for the two of us is like more around like $1,000. So my half is like $500, but this month it was $367.11. So let's just go through it. So I got some healthy snacks from Shoppers for $35.98. I picked up some ingredients for lunches from Safeway, $39.80. I had to get some miscellaneous things, salt, olive oil from Shoppers, and it was $16.63. Most of these are cut in half. If I buy food just for myself, I obviously just pay for it, but if it's for like the household, I cut it in half. Superstore grocery delivery, $67.30. I went to Blush Lane just to grab some ingredients for a dinner one night, and that was $22.73. Another Blush Lane purchase, it just says pasta, I don't know, $7.71. Superstore grocery delivery, we got a big delivery, and it's coming tomorrow because we're gonna make chili and we're gonna make like a pot roast, and we just got ingredients for a couple of like meal prep things. So my half was $95. So that was like the biggest haul that we've gotten. Another time, Superstore delivery, $31.11. Fresh prep, my credits ran out and I had to pay a little bit extra. So my half of the extra was only $23.78. Picked up some ingredients from Safeway for a dinner one night, $8.61. You can see here that we didn't do very good at like meal planning outside of the fresh prep meals. So there was a couple of times where we just had to like rush out and get some ingredients. And whenever I do that, I try and keep it reasonable, but you know, I think it adds up when you do it that way. And then lastly, Blush Lane lunch and snacks one day was $18.46. So we did okay with food, but it was like kind of expensive between groceries and eating out. Subscriptions. One of my credit cards, an annual fee came out, it was $120. That one snuck up on me. Like when I saw it, I was like, whoa, but most cards have an annual fee. Storage on Apple, $4.19. My Rogers phone bill, okay, this is a weird one. It only cost me $14 this month, and that's because my credit card expired. And so like a couple months ago it expired, and I hadn't replaced it in my Rogers account. And so it tried to charge me like twice, and both times that it like didn't work, Rogers charged me $50. So I had $100 in like charges just because my credit card was expired, which I thought was ridiculous. So I chatted with their customer service representative, and I basically asked if they could waive one of the fees. I basically just said like, I didn't even give a reason. I was just like, my credit card expired and I didn't update it in time, and I got like two $50 charges. I was wondering if you could waive one of them, and they were just like, sure, we'll waive one of them. So I don't know, just ask. So I had like a credit on my account. My phone bill is usually around $65. So because of the $50 credit that went back onto my account, my phone bill ended up being $14, but my phone bill last month was expensive because it incurred like both of those $50 charges. So anyways, it all like kind of works out, but this is your sign to just ask. You know, the worst they're gonna do is say no. Netflix, our monthly subscription, my half is $11.05. My Spotify monthly subscription is $11.54. And a Patreon subscription of mine for my favorite podcast, Money Feels, is $5.25. So not bad there. Travel, $0. We love it. Entertainment, $0. We love it. Alcohol, $0. We love it. Annoying. Gifts and charity. Okay, so I mean, I'm almost done my Christmas shopping, which is iconic. So I'm really happy with what I found. I bought some Christmas gifts during Black Friday, so I got some discounts, which means that I was able to get people like more stuff or spend less on it. So I highly recommend trying to get ahead of your Christmas shopping. I did do some online ordering, and some of those presents are like lost in the abyss because there's a Canada Post strike on right now. So hopefully they come. But yeah, I'm not gonna say like exactly what I bought because I don't know who's watching this, but let's just go through it. So La Citane, I bought a gift from there for $30.48. I bought a gift from Sage for $55.12. A gift from Sephora for $39.90. A gift from Anthropology for $20.58. I bought a bunch of Christmas gifts from Amazon, mainly like stocking stuffers, and that was $107.60. I got some stuff from Shoppers, mainly stocking stuffers too, for $19.96. I bought some gifts from a Christmas market, the Spruce Meadows International Market, for $22.30. I bought a gift from Journeys, which is like a weird store for me, but I basically just bought some shoes where I could find them, for $68.25. Another gift from Anthropology for $41.95. I bought a gift on Etsy for $46.25. This is one of the gifts that is kind of like lost in the abyss, and I really hope that it gets to me. Another gift from Amazon for $47.13, for a total of $500. So I feel like that's a reasonable amount for gifts. My camera overheated, so if it's like a different angle. So gas, Uber, and car insurance. So I got gas at Shell for $46.34. My car insurance was $1,882. Parking at various different places. One time it was $8.35. One time it was $20. This was when we were parking at the hotel in Banff. That was my half. And one time it was $2.25. I find that the parking in Calgary is really reasonable, so I never really sweat it too much. And then another time I got gas at Esso for $39.65. So overall, pretty light on transportation costs, minus the insurance. Clothes. I did pretty good this month. I definitely like clothes and can spend, but I only got 3 things, or I guess 3 orders. I purchased 2 pairs of pajama pants from the Gap on sale for $59.82. I got 2 bathing suits. I actually ordered them from Cupshe, which kind of a weird brand, and they haven't arrived. I don't know what they're like, but it was a collab with JoJo from The Bachelorette. And they were really cute, and they were on sale as well. Both of them together were $73.50, which I feel like is really reasonable for 2 bathing suits. And then I got some little kitten heels for my holiday party from Zara for $67.05. And that's all I bought. That's all I bought. So it's pretty good for clothes. Health. I spent $24.31 at the weed store on some edibles. I bought some medicine from Shoppers for $23.02. I forget what type of meds these were. Mac and I got cross-country skis, boots, and poles, and we're so excited. We got them from Solomon. Mac works for Arc'teryx, so he has a discount from Solomon. So this ended up being just $211.15 for me, which is iconic. So I put that under health. I wasn't sure whether to put it under health or entertainment, but yeah. And then my bi-weekly gym payments are $28.35, so there's 2 of those in the month. Beauty. Beauty was also kind of an expensive one. The main 2 things were I got a mani-pedi today, actually. Got my nails done. And my pedicure was much needed. So that's just the cost of it, $144.38. The other expensive one was I ordered the Dr. Dennis Gross Extra Strength Peel Pads from the Sephora sale, and I got the biggest one possible so that it was like the cheapest per unit, because this is a very expensive product, but it's really good. So I ended up paying $83.86. But this is the best price I could get, so I splurged on that. I did get a manicure another time earlier in the month for $56.70. So my nails this month did end up costing me around $200, which is a little bit more than I would like, but I really only get a pedicure like twice a year. I had to get some heat protectant from Shoppers. That was $10. And then I also treated myself to a body oil from L'Occitane. It's like the almond shower oil. I saw it on TikTok and I wanted to try it, and that was $30. Coffee, I did really good. If you know me, I definitely spend on coffee, so $46.83 is amazing. I got some hot chocolates from McDonald's, $5.04. I just put that under coffee because it's not like I have a hot chocolate budget. I reloaded my Starbucks card and that was $25. I got Mac and I some coffees from this cute little place called Sudden Sally in Banff, and that was $10.60. I got a Celsius from Shoppers for $3.56, and I got a tea for $2.63. So a couple of non-coffee things, but I put them under like, you know, beverages. So I really didn't spend that much on coffee, so we love to see that. And then business expenses. So I bought a new camera. I actually bought one of those DJ Pocket Osmos. They're like the little cameras on the little gimbal, and I wanted one of those for my trip to Hawaii coming up in February. And I just thought it'd be really good for vlogging because it's really small and I don't know, it hasn't come yet. I actually purchased it from an influencer that I follow, so it's secondhand. So I ended up paying $232.37 for it, which is a really good price. It is like a generation behind. I think the ones that are out now is like a 3 and I bought a 2. And I also had to cover the cost of shipping, and she was shipping from the States, so it was expensive. Shipping was $68.72 with like the exchange rates and everything, so it ended up being about $300. But I think that if I were to buy that new, it would have been like 500 plus, so got a good deal there. And then I bought a book on my Kobo for $17.84. I put this under business expense because I have a reading podcast. That's it. That's everything I spent. Going through it, I stand by all of my purchases, so we're feeling good there. I also was able to officially hit $35,000 invested this year, and we still have another month, so I'll probably do some more investing in December, and I feel incredibly proud that I've been able to invest $35,000. Another cool thing that came up about my investments was some of my investments pay dividends, and I don't normally look at my dividends. Honestly, even with my investments, I've been looking at my app less, which is a good sign because like you don't really have to look at it. You don't have to do anything, just let it do its thing. But I often will be kind of like obsessed with looking at it. But dividends specifically, I haven't gone in and seen like in my history what dividends I have received because I have it so that my dividends get reinvested on a drip. And so it just like, it doesn't come out as cash. It basically like gets paid out, but then it goes right back into my investments. And yesterday, Mac and I I think he was looking at his dividends and he was all excited and he's like, you should look at yours. Like, I bet you have like some pretty sick dividends. And I don't think that I've looked at my dividends since I was getting like, a good dividend would be like $30 a month. So I looked at it and it's true. I have a lot of really good dividends. So I went in and calculated everything because I wanted to see how much I'm making per year and per month. So I have dividends coming out from investments in my RRSP, in my TFSA, and also in my FHSA, which is a newer account for me, I guess for everyone. Okay, so my RRSP dividends this year, I've made $1,426. Amazing. From my TFSA, I've made $1,427. I'm honestly invested in mostly the same thing, so it makes sense that they're like nearly identical. And then in my FHSA, $205. So for the year so far, I have made $3,059 in dividends, and so that is all money that gets reinvested. So I've put in $35,000, and if the dividends were $3,000 put back in, then that means that I've actually invested $38,000 this year, which is crazy. I can't even fathom that. Okay, so that means that monthly I'm making around $255 from dividends. Dividends are paid out sometimes monthly, sometimes quarterly, sometimes annually. So my biggest one-time payment is $263, and that's a yearly one. But there's some other ones that are really good. And this made me very motivated and encouraged because I haven't really paid attention to dividends, but seeing these numbers and knowing that the more I invest, the higher the dividends are going to be makes me really excited. And if you have money invested, like, go and look at your dividends. It will probably encourage you. I would recommend that you reinvest them because, again, I wasn't even realizing that I was making this and it was getting reinvested. It was just happening, and I was just seeing the number in my investments go up faster than I could imagine. The market is also doing really well right now, so it has its ups and its downs, but look at your dividends because they could be slaying without you even knowing it. So that's all for this month. I'm excited to check in December to tell you officially what I ended the year at in terms of how much I invested, because I don't know, maybe it'll be like 40 grand, which again is wild. I am thinking of doing an updated investment video. So if you have any questions about investing, I'm just a regular gal, okay? I don't know everything about investing. I just know a little, enough to start and enough to be doing it. But if you have any questions about like my personal investing journey or how I do it or my mindset or whatever, let me know. Just put the questions in the comments and I'll be sure to answer them. But I hope that you enjoyed this video. If it is one of the first videos of mine that you've seen, please subscribe. I would love to have you. I work really hard on my YouTube and we have a really cute little community, but I would always love to grow the community. So if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in Vlogmas because we're starting Vlogmas. So you should go and watch those too. Okay, bye.